I had done a video on whether or not heterosexual women should be considered homophobic or biphobic if they don't want to date bisexual men, and I want to respond to a commenter. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. This commenter says, being homophobic used to be linear to committing a hate crime. Now it's being correlated with what you are attracted to. The same way I don't judge men that aren't attracted to trans women, why are women being shamed for this? And so the part of your comment I wanted to definitely speak to is the use of accusing people of being homophobic or biphobic or transphobic. That word is literally being thrown around a lot. And it does get accused, it does get like hurled at people sometimes. And I think the methodology in which that's done is to shut a conversation down. Because if you think about it, it's like, okay, I want to shut you up, I want to shut you down, I want to harm you, and I want to make you look bad in front of everybody. And it's done in a way that, is meant to cause harm and to dismiss what people are saying. And for me, I have, when I talk about things being dismissed being dismissive of what you're saying, I've literally seen it used by the thousands towards Black women creators. So I don't know that since my time on TikTok or social media in general that I've ever seen a man called that. So literally when I see this word being thrown, it's usually towards women, Black women in particular. And you're right, in the way in which it was traditionally used, it was akin to a hate crime, being exclusionary, punching down, all of these things. But now it's used towards think pieces. And sometimes these think pieces, as we saw with the whole Paris situation, doesn't necessarily address any of these things. But these women are being accused of being that. There's not a lot of room for oh, is there bias there? Or, oh, is there maybe a lack of understanding there? Or, oh, is there trauma there that women have experienced at the hands of men? Things that are very real and things that many women face, even lesbian and bisexual women have faced this. And it gets to a point where women, even within the LGBTQIA community, are saying that, hey, I can't even speak up about the abuse or the intimidation that I'm facing within my own group because then I will be called something or I will be ganged up on as well. So what is becoming more and more apparent is women are being policed. Their tone, their talking points, their bodies are being heavily policed and politicked and everything else. And if you don't, if you don't do what I say or do what I do or do it in a way that I like or in a way that prioritizes me, then you are phobic. There's also the dogpiling effect, where once somebody says it, oh, now everybody is saying that you are some sort of phobic, and it's meant to silence you, shame you, and cancel you. Now, with that being said, are there some women that might be phobic? Absolutely, there sure can be. Are there some women that are maybe harmful or maybe spew rhetoric? Yes. But what I have seen the most is when, especially Black women creators, speak about things that are valid, that real experiences to them, trauma, harm, things like that. These words are hurled, and they want to shut them down. There have even been threats behind that as well, to end your life, harm your life, and things of that nature. But the other thing is, what this commenter is saying is that women are not policing men in the same manner. Men are not being policed, men are not being targeted, and men are not being attacked in the way in where, oh, you're transphobic, or you're this, or you're that. If you don't date someone that you say that you're not attracted to, their judgment is never being called into question. That is one of the things that happens because of misogyny. That is also the power that men have in our society. I have yet, it doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but I have yet to see a trans man, punching down on men. I've yet to see that. And I've worked with trans men a long time throughout my career. I've not seen things manifest in the same way towards men, where men are being attacked, men are being shamed, or any of that. Biological men, I've not seen trans men do that. I haven't even seen that on this app. I have not seen a man's body being policed in terms of, if they have a particular sort of sexual preference, or even their judgment about why they're being preferenced. Or even, and this has been going on since the 90s, 2000s, even when a man has been, a trans woman didn't tell a man up front that they were trans, there is more of a siding with that man. Like, we understand you were victimized and things like that. And so, there's, oh, you should have been more forthcoming. You shouldn't have tricked him like that. That kind of stuff. You didn't deserve that. I mean, or men having a crush on another man, and man saying, no, I don't like that. And that being okay, that being valid. I'm not into that. He's not being accused of being homophobic. And there have been shows that have been canceled over that. I forgot the show where, I remember telling you guys about this before, but the Jenny Jones show was one. That was a show that was canceled over a man being, pursued by another man, and he didn't like that. So they took him at his word. They shut that shit down. There was another show, a reality show, and where, oh God, I forget. It was For the Love of Somebody, I feel like. Help me recall this show if you can. But it was a woman where they had men competing for her. And then at the end of the show, she revealed that she was trans. Again, they shut that show down. I don't know that you can find that show on air anywhere today. I at least in the United States. I could be wrong, but I have not seen that show. But the trans woman who was on that show got killed behind that, and then they took it off the air. But I do not see that word thrown around when it comes to men, even when men are being clearly homophobic and being derogatory. They just don't chest check a man the same way. And if I'm wrong, I'll gladly say I'm wrong. I just haven't seen it. I have not. And I've been working in male-dominated environments for a long time now. I have not seen it. Even in prison, it does not matter what a man says. The man calls another man the F slur. I've not seen a man chin check another man about that, even when they clearly were being phobic. And that's just the reality of the situation. But thanks so much for putting this out there. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share, and follow. Thanks so much.